I'm a big Tears for Fears fan, like a huge fan. So I actually received the vocal from Tio Mandrelli, the guy I'm doing the track with.
Hey Julian, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm very good. I'm in the studio right now, actually working on a lot of exciting projects that I've been working on. I think these past months, especially this whole year, was a bit crazy. No touring at all, so I had more than enough time to work on new music.
I'm super happy to be here with you today because it's a special day for you. You just released a remake for a classic song from the 80's
Yeah.
called Shout. Can you tell me more about this and why you decided to make the remake for that song?
Well, it's yeah, it's a very exciting day because Shout is out right now. I kind of like always loved the track. I always sang along with it in the car with my parents back in the days when I heard it on the radio. I'm not that old. I'm from '95, so when the track came out, I wasn't even born. Uh, but I still really love the track, and I still hear it on the radio all the time. So I'm a big Tears for Fears fan, like a huge fan. So I actually received the vocal from Tio Mandrelli, the guy I'm doing the track with. He sent me the vocal he did with Jordan Grace, and I was like, wow, this is insane. And they told me like they got cleared for Tears for Fears, like by Tears for Fears. I was like, how the hell did you guys do this? Because it's almost impossible. I heard like they never actually prove stuff like this. Like we're almost the first to do this with Shout. So that's crazy. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I was really down for it. And a couple of sessions and everything further, we had the track, and we're so proud of it.
The song is perfect for the summer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the time when you heard the song for the first time?
I don't really remember the first time. For me, it was like a track that was already there always. You know, one of those tracks that you just hear in your mind, because yeah, it's like I said, I was in the car with my parents, and I was hearing it like on the radio all the time, and at a certain point in your life, like when I became like 15 and 16 years old, something like that, I became aware of like all those classics. So you know the feeling when you hear a track and you get like a feeling of nostalgia, that you feel like, oh, I
Yeah.
heard this from back in the days. This is some track that I used to hear a lot as a kid. And I remember like I was 15 or 16, and Sander Van Doorn, he played a Shout mashup in his DJ set, and that feeling of a nostalgia came to me, and I was like, I love this record. And back then when I was 15, 16, I started to search it up again, like the original track. And then I remember I really understood the track, and I really got to know the track better. It was already in my head, but then like 15, 16 years old somewhere, I really started to appreciate it.
Yeah, great story. Yeah, yeah. And because you worked with Theo Mandrelli and Jordan Grace on this remake, how do you think people will react to the song? Because it's out today, and yeah, how the people will react to the song?
I think it's nice because it's a collab, and you really hear like we have different influences. Normally, my sound is a bit different, but I always feel like I want to explore more of the musical world, and I want to make as much as different genres as possible. So I don't like to stick to one sound over and over because I'm not a machine, and that's why I really like to collaborate with people, because I can get inspired by their sounds. And I think this is a perfect track that you can call a collaboration, because Tio's sound is in there, Jordan's sound is in there, my sound is in there. Jordan's voice is amazing, by the way. So we really have like three guys coming together and on one track, with all of their specialties. So I think this is like the perfect collaboration, and I really like to, yeah, I like to explore a little bit more about the musical world than just what I already
Yeah.
did. And I think people really love that. I got some great reactions already. A lot of people, like older people that know the track from back in the days, they react very well, like very happy about it. And also younger people who don't really know the track get to know the track in a different daylight. So I think it's really a good chance for everyone to discover more about this track.
So, if you can tell me more about the workflow you followed to produce the song, the remake, yeah, and because it was made in the pandemic, during the pandemic, You work it on Zoom or how? If you can tell us more about that.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like that's actually how all these sessions go nowadays, because it already was a little bit like that, because when you work from three countries, we're working from three countries. We're working from Nashville, we're working from Italy, and we're working from Amsterdam. So it's almost impossible to fly all those guys out to the same studio.
Yeah.
And especially in the pandemic, it's almost impossible. Like with all the restrictions and quarantine, it's impossible to do it. So what we did, we tried to do it like FaceTiming, Zooming, and that's actually how we did it. We just went in the studio. Like on my Instagram is actually a post that I did, how you see me working with the guys on the track.
And in a new vocal, and it's actually Shout from Tears for Fears. They actually never approved anyone else to do this. This could be huge, right? This could be really huge.
It's literally just FaceTiming each other, trying to be all in the studio at the same time, you know. And in Nashville, it's a different time than in Italy and in Holland. So
Yeah.
we really had to plan in, the right time to work on the track together. But it was funny because we were all in the studio at the same time, just somewhere else around the world. And I think the video really shows that.
If you can tell me a memory from the festival you played in the past, one memory you remember all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy because normally I live in a hurricane. Someone once told me, you live in a hurricane, you're just going like, and you keep going. You don't look back, you just keep going and you keep playing shows and be in the studio. And my life has been like that for years now. And recently, because of COVID, I've been home a lot, and I had the time to reflect on my career a little bit more and to look back on how many amazing shows I did. So especially these times, I'm really thinking back to how many crazy festivals I did. And I have to say, I never looked back until COVID, and I really looked back on like Tomorrowland was amazing. I did that several times. Miami Ultra, I did that several times. All those festivals, but also the smaller festivals or small club shows where you're really intimate with the crowd. Especially at COVID times, you really miss those intimate moments. Sometimes I played in a club with like a maximum capacity of 500 people, and we were just so close to the crowd,
Yeah.
which is the best feeling because you really feel the energy of the crowd. For instance, Tomorrowland is also super amazing, but you really feel like a distance between you and the crowd. Also, the energy is amazing, but I really enjoyed those small intimate club shows as well. So yeah, I for me, there's not like one festival moment. For me, it's like touring live and yeah, all these different shows, clubs, crowds, cultures that come together. I think it's a beautiful thing, and I really had the time to reflect back on that and appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because you are now in such a beautiful studio in your Stampede studio.
Yeah.
Can you give a piece of advice for the upcoming producers or DJs? What's the piece of advice?
Yeah, I think my advice is always to be proud of what you make. You know, it's hard because a lot of people give up because their sound is not at a certain quality at the beginning, but you have to understand that you have to start somewhere, and it's all part of the process. When I started making music, it sounded like crap. You know, I couldn't make the sound that I was making right now in the beginning. If that was so, like everyone would do it. You know, everyone would make music and everyone would make the biggest tracks and stuff like that. But it takes practice. So what I would say is just be proud of what you do and be confident and be motivated and always be positive. That's so important. It's maybe cliche, but it's so important to be positive and let positive energy rule your days, because a lot of people like on the internet are always negative, and it's super easy to be drawn into that negative energy. But I feel like that's what's wrong with a lot of people, that like a lot of people read those negative stuff and they get like they don't get motivated anymore. They want to stop. Like for instance,
Yeah.
you make a track and you're starting and it's not that nice, but still you should get like applaud for trying, and people will bash you because it sounds like something they're not used to, and then people will hate on it, and a lot of people give up. But I feel like um yeah, we should not be that negative all the time, and applaud people trying stuff and trying out stuff and taking the chance to yeah, be creative. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about our job, is that we can be creative all the time. And also the most beautiful thing about music, because there are no rules in music. There's not a perfect track, there's not a perfect mix down, there's not a perfect way of making a track. Everything is music. And I feel like we should support each other more on the internet, and less hate. That's just what I want to say to all the producers out there. If you're starting and if you're negative and hating, don't do it, because it's not going to get you anywhere. Be positive, be happy, be kind. That's the only thing that's going to get you where you want to go.
And to follow your dream. Yeah, always follow your dreams. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you made a special set for us for the King's Day back in April.
Yeah.
It was very sick. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
And because you shared more info about your past experiences with festivals and how much do you love playing at festivals and in clubs, what you're doing at this moment, since you are not able to play live shows for a crowd.
So
what
yeah,
you're doing,
yeah, it's funny because I had to change my life almost 360 degrees. I've been in the studio so many times because it wasn't possible when I was on tour. I could only work on my laptop in planes or in a hotel room, or sometimes even in the backstage of the club. And yeah, right now there's enough time to be in the studio and to enjoy that kind of moment. So I'm really taking the most out of it. Also, I'm trying to see family more. I think that's very important, because all the things I couldn't do when I was on tour was being social with my family, seeing my friends, being in the studio, and build like a biorhythm, like work on my health, stuff like that. And right now I feel like it's the perfect time to do that. Be healthy, uh, sports, seeing family, seeing friends, and just enjoy. Enjoy it a little bit, because we always have to see the positive sides of everything. I feel like that.
Yeah, yeah. And why people should listen to Shoot? If you can say why they should listen to Shoot.
Why they should listen to it? Yeah, I feel like when they like my sound, I feel like it's the perfect track that shows how my sound works as well. I'm not like one type of producer. I have the JJ sound. I have my own fan base because of that. That's great. And I feel like this track is a little bit different, but still it has those elements of the JJ sound. And I try to keep them in there and show the world like I'm not like one type of producer. So yeah, you should listen to that. Also, if you love Shout, if you love the original, there's so much elements from the original track in there that respect the original. I felt like that was really important. Also, there's some acoustic stuff in there. It's one of those tracks that you could play out in a club, but also play in your car. It's the perfect track you could play in your house or whatever at the pool, but you can also play it when you're partying. So I feel like it's the perfect combination, and it's good for every occasion. So I feel like everyone should check it out.
Yeah. So it was nice talking with you today about your remake, and hope to see you soon at the festivals. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Have a great day too. Thank you so much. Shout out to EDM Nomad.